bags and emotions the same. One red day and you fold like shame. She slid in my DMs with a chart of you. Said he's got potential but no follow through. Your RSI low, your vibe even lower. Talk big on Discord but freeze like October. I'm built for spikes, I move with grace. You panic dump, I take your place. You log losses, I log in. She like confidence, not pretend. While you redraw lines to justify, I draw her close just to amplify.
Back up.
Stop loss her, you too slow. She need rhythm, not just hope. You trade dreams, I execute. She want her sex, I bring the flu. Stop loss her, she break out fast. You light candles, I move past. She said he's sweet, I said bet. Now she moaning out my asset. She said you trade scared, I said figures. Can't hold a line, can't pull no triggers. You play it safe, I risk for fun. She like a man who don't run from a run. Run it. You analyze, I hypnotize. He said my DMs feel financially wise. You post L's, I post receipts. While you're daydreaming, I delete your seats. You place limits, I break zones. You send hearts, I send tones. She ain't into boys who chase. She want pullbacks laced in bass.
Say it slower.
Stop loss her, you too slow. She need rhythm, not just hope. You trade dreams, I execute. She want your sex, I bring the flu. Stop loss her, she break out fast. You light candles, I move past. She said he's sweet, I said bet. Now she moaning out my ass. I don't chase opposition, she said you talk. I listened, she wanted depth. You gave signals, I gave entries. Now she's single.
Profitable.
Yeah. Stop loss her, you too late. She got alpha now, no dead weight. You still stuck on a maybe text. We building candles with more context. Stop loss her, no re-entry. She with me now, full transparency. You said be safe, I said be bold. Now she chart me like I'm solid gold. You'll practice heartbreak. I'll compound her glow. We not the same. You just slow.
Oh, brother. What is going on, my little carne asadas? It is a beautiful Monday, July the 14th, and I'm so excited to be back here with you guys. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. What did I get up to? Oh, I was in D.C. I was learning about politics. I was doing some of the whole U.S. political scene. Honestly, there's kind of a lot of cool things to do in D.C. I think it's a little bit underrated, especially from a food standpoint, that there's actually a lot of good food in that area. But anyway, it doesn't have really anything to do with what we're here to chit-chat about today. We're here to chit-chat about old crypto week. Big old Bitcoin around, what was it, 3:30 in the morning, I want to say, hitting a new all-time high, 123,000, currently trading just below 122, but clocking in a brand new record. So I hope you guys have been swinging it. I hope you guys have been crushing it. Happy 18th birthday. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm finally legal. To all the people in the audience, you're like, yo, when does Matt turn 18? You guys know it. I'm finally legal. This is the day. This is the day. Did you find the list? No, dude. I was looking for the Epstein list. It's, dude, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I covered that a little bit yesterday in the, like, just Trump crash out weekly update video. Dude, it is weird what is going on in that situation. Absolutely weird that Trump is basically just like screaming. He's like, stop talking about it. Stop. How could you possibly talk about that anymore? Super, super weird turn that this story has taken. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, I covered that a bit more in detail in the update video yesterday. So feel free to check that out. It's basically wherever you're watching, whether Rumble or YouTube, it's in just the video section there. So we don't have to spend too much time on it, but we do have to cover other things Trump has talked about because even though Bitcoin's at an all-time high, we're actually seeing some weakness in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, and I want to get into why that is. And for those of you who have been missing out, basically just relates to renewed tariff issues, this time with the EU and Mexico, and why this one is having a little bit bigger of an impact rather like relative to the other ones is because of how much trade we do with the EU and Mexico, and especially the EU. They are our largest trading partner. So I want to spend a little bit of time on that this morning. I do also want to let you know that I still feel like this is going to end up being like a taco situation. I mean, what's been playing out over the past couple weeks, the past couple months is at first, especially in April, like any little hint of a trade issue or tariff, and the markets just dumped and it went haywire and it wasn't good. And then all of a sudden we saw it. I mean, especially for all my active traders in chat, like you guys saw it as well, that like it started to have less and less of an impact. And now it's at the point where on the initial announcement, it almost seems as if the bots, just the bots scanning the news, really, really fast trading, there's like that initial hit. And then from there, we like just very, very rapidly recover. So I don't know. Like, I just don't think that this one's really going to hold. Literally just looking at the past 2 to 4 weeks worth of data, especially related to the tariff stuff, it seems like the market shakes it off pretty easily. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen this time around. But this time around could be a little bit different because of what we have really going on this week. We are in an OpEx week, options expiration. So on tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to have the CPI report. Wednesday, we have volatility expiration and the producer price index. Thursday, we have retail sales. And then on Friday, we have actual OpEx of equities. So pretty much today, I would argue, is going to be the most quiet day of the week. And obviously, we could still get some action. But in the short term, we're seeing a little bit more of neutral leaning bearish, while in the longer picture, it's still bullish. So my base assumption today is that we're actually going to get caught up in some important gamma zone, maybe around 6250 on SPX, and kind of not really do much. But I think the show is really going to get pushing for the remainder of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially Wednesday and Friday between the vol expiration and just normal equities expiration on Friday. So obviously pay attention to those. There's 1 week out of every single month that's kind of like a key one, and we're living in that week right now. The monthly expiration just far larger in terms of the dollar value of just the trades and the rolls and the expirations and making money and losing money. And we happen to be in that week right now. So be prepared for that. Matt, now that you're 18, OnlyFans win probably by noon today. I think I'm going to be running out with it. Feel free to sign up if you guys want. It's just going to be like my feet pics. Just going to start loading those bad boys up to OnlyFans, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to make something of my life, you know? Maybe I'll be able to prove my parents wrong that I don't need my degree anymore. Just Matt's feet pics. They're going live at noon today. All right. I should probably, obviously, don't forget to throw on your Lucky Buffalo shirt. Don't forget to grab yourself a little bit of a coffee here. And with that being said, let's do the old switchity-do here. Stock futures slide on more Trump tariff letters, but are off worst levels of the session. So right here, excuse me, I have like a little, I've been eating these Hall things. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. It feels like there's like a weird little tickle in my throat. Anyway, the SPY, yes. Obviously, we're pretty much at the low value from Friday. Same thing with the Qs, just above it. Both the SPY and the Qs are just above their low value on Friday. But on the flip side, old bitty Bitcoin is looking crazy good. 122,000 all-time high, 123.2. Tesla also looking really good, which is a little bit different because over the past couple of weeks, it feels like every single time we look at Tesla, it's just getting absolutely murked. Also, side note, how many of you guys have seen the news where Tesla got completely destroyed, a week ago, and then Dave Portnoy bought $10 million worth of it, and his goal was to make 10%. He kind of crushed that, dude. $1 million return in a week and a half? Dude, that is not bad at all. I don't really know if he gets other trades right whatsoever, but on that particular trade, that was easy. In fact, he should be up more than 10% right now. I don't know if he got out of it. I don't know if he's holding it. But no, he was on his show. He was basically publicly saying right here around the 290s, and we're already trading at 317. Obviously looking pretty darn good. Anyway, obviously we'll come back to that because we have some other news related to Elon and XAI and a very important vote coming up for shareholders on Tesla. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the overall equities market. These are up on True Social if you want to read it yourself. but started to get traction here on July 11th. And then this was specifically Trump's newest letter to Mexico. And you can read through it if you want, but the TLDR right here, 30% on Mexican products. And then also he threatened that if you retaliate, however you retaliate, whatever that number is, we're going to add it on to 30%. And pretty much the exact same situation here with the EU, the European Commission, right here, 30%, made the same general threat that if you retaliate, we're going to add that on to the 30%. What Trump's 30% tariff threat means for the European Union in charts. So before we get into this, I should let you guys know that maybe it's not the exact right term, but in a certain sense, the EU is attempting to extend an olive branch. They say, you know what? And this just came out over the weekend as well. Like, you know what, guys? We're not going to retaliate here. We are very hopeful that we're going to come to a deal by August 1st. So in the meantime, not retaliating. I think if this was a couple weeks ago, they would have retaliated. But this time around, even though on the U.S. side of things, we are getting quite a bit of talk of like, oh, retaliate, and we're going to add, and we're going to add. A lot of the counterparties in this particular discussion, they really are just like, okay, cool. Like we're going to try to get it done by August 1st. So I do want to show you the size of it because this really is our biggest trade partner. The EU-US trade in a global context, it is 30% of all global trade, and it's 43% of all global GDP. That's insane. I didn't realize that the numbers were that big. And then right here, exports mainly exporting to us. Obviously, instead of imports, and then obviously the opposite. And I didn't know this at all. I found this one surprising, but the main one that they're exporting is pharmaceuticals, followed by medicine, followed by vehicles. In my own mind, I kind of put these two together, medicine and pharmaceuticals. I didn't realize something must be going on from just like a regulatory standpoint. I didn't realize how much pharmaceuticals and medicine that the EU is exporting to the US. I just want to share with you because I actually found that to be quite surprising. I always thought it was going to be something like vehicles, and yeah, vehicles, motors, I mean, third and maybe fifth on the list, but I found that one to be a bit surprising. And also then the individual country who's probably going to get hurt the most by this is Germany. Germany, Ireland, Italy, those are your top three, but Germany number one by quite the distance. So just wanted to share that with all of you. I also thought Bloomberg early this morning had a pretty good chit chat on the current situation, just in case you were a normal human and stayed off the internet from the weekend and enjoyed the sun rather than diving into trade deals.
Ollie, less than 3 weeks away then from this new deadline. What is the state of play?
Yeah, just to refresh everybody on kind of where we are, because the percentages are changing, the dates are changing. Initially, the EU is facing 50% tariffs on August the 9th. Now we're talking about 30% tariffs on August the 1st, so about 2.5 weeks away. And that follows that letter that came from President Donald Trump to the European Commission, to Ursula von der Leyen. And I'll just read some of the excerpts of that just to give you sort of the broad update here from the Trump administration, basically saying that the EU needs to reduce all of its trade barriers with the United States, bring tariffs to zero, but also reduce the non-trade barriers. That, of course, is the big difficulty in these discussions, Tom. But what we got in terms of details about how he's thinking about this, if for any reason you decide to raise your tariffs and retaliate, then whatever number you choose to raise them by, that will be added to the 30% that we charge. So that is where the Trump administration's sort of baseline is going into this. Remember, the European Union sort of had come to terms with the idea that there would be a 10% baseline tariff that many of the member states were not terribly happy about, but were willing to swallow without retaliation. The question is, how do they respond if you do get 30% tariffs? And we heard from Ursula von der Leyen, who gave some idea of that, who said, we remain ready to continue working towards an agreement by August the 1st. At the same time, we will take all necessary steps to safeguard EU interests, including adoption of proportionate countermeasures if required. And that will be the discussion before many of the ministers that are meeting today in Brussels to discuss, A, an update on those trade negotiations, but also, B, what retaliation looks like from the EU. We know they have a list of already 20 billion euros worth of goods to retaliate against the United States. We understand they will be adding another 70 billion to that in terms of possible retaliation to the United States. But the question is, how hard are they going to go in the lead up to these discussions that are about, a deadline that's 2.5 weeks away? As we know, the European Union would like to see a negotiated outcome. That being said, we do not know what's in the mind of Donald Trump, if he's really committed to this 30% rate, if it's just a negotiating tactic. So the EU needs to be prepared to retaliate if they must.
They must be ready to retaliate. So kicking today off this will probably be the main driver of news just because there's not much else going on. I have a very, very strong feeling, and this is literally just on what's played out over the past couple of weeks, that the market, as it already is taking a bit of a hit, and then eventually it's going to end up taking it in stride. And then I actually could see this adding fuel to the fire of the bull camp of why we're hitting a whole nother new all-time high when we do get to a deal, which obviously, as of what they were alluding to, as of now, the deadline is August 1st. But I think it is more likely than not, and obviously none of this is guaranteed, but more likely than not that a trade deal is hit. We agree on it. Everyone's stoked. And then we really get to end the month of July, once again, clocking new all-time highs. And who knows, maybe it's going to look a little bit like Bitcoin. Bitcoin surpasses 120,000 to record highs ahead of U.S. lawmakers' crypto week. That's what we're in right now. So in real time, Bitcoin is trading just below 122,000. The fresh high comes amid strong Bitcoin ETF inflows and moves from the U.S. policy makers aimed at a clear regulatory framework for the entire industry. So on top of really trade war stuff, taco stuff, obviously pay attention, especially for all my hardcore crypto people in here. This is going to be another important narrative of what in the world's going on. Obviously, fingers crossed that this is all very, very positive. Bitcoin up 106% year to date. Ripple 462. ETH actually down 3.8, Solana up 18, and BNB up 32, Tron up 117, Doge is up 82. But based on market cap, obviously Bitcoin is the granddaddy of them all. Overall, Bitcoin, like cumulatively, is worth 3.8 trillion. Bitcoin coming in at number one at 2.4 trillion of that 3.8 trillion, followed by ETH, followed by XRP, followed by Tether, followed by BNB. So that's basically your top five right now. And obviously each time you go down a rung, it like does drop off quite a bit. Honestly, by the time you get to number five, you're not even at $100 billion anymore. So once again, mainly being driven by the OG crypto. Bitcoin soars past 120,000 as U.S. Congress starts the crypto week. Bitcoin breached 120,000 for the first time, with investor enthusiasm showing few signs of dimming as the U.S. House of Representatives prepares to consider key industry legislation during its crypto week starting today, Monday, July the 14th. The cryptocurrency bellwether rose as much as 3.4%, 122. Obviously, a little bit past that, 123, taking a little bit of a breather. And I have to say, I'm really stoked. I'm really, really, really stoked about this whole situation. Let me show you. I've cooking up with the help of everyone in the Discord. So basically on July 2nd, I got into BITX $60 strike for July 18th, this Friday. Cost me about $16,000. I had 100 of them right here. And then I was able to dump half of them on Friday, actually when I was going down to DC. So that was a gain, obviously, of 11K. But clearly I have the other positions still riding. So I'm excited to see what this is going to open up to. Very, very excited. So basically I thought it was smart going into the weekend, taking a little bit of risk off the table, especially because BITX isn't just a Bitcoin ETF. It's actually a 2x leverage Bitcoin ETF. And just on the off chance that something happened over the weekend, it could have gone from really, really good to really, really bad. So I'm uniquely excited to see what this opens up to. But obviously, even going into market close on Friday, pretty freaking stoked about that. Pretty freaking stoked. Also, on top of the crypto week, on top of the trade news, we are back in earnings season. It's been many, many weeks since we've had to pay attention to these very influential individual equities, but we are back in that mode. So this is going to now last another 4 to 6 weeks from here. But obviously, getting us going tomorrow are the major financial players: JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, BlackRock. On Wednesday, ASML, that's in the world of semiconductors. We have other financial players: Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Pharma, Johnson & Johnson, Morgan Stanley, PNC, once again back to banking. That evening, we have United. Thursday, TSMC, Pepsi, Netflix, Interactive Brokers, 3M on Friday. So even this, Charles Schwab, American Express, we're in it again. This is week one. We're going to hit it going. Week 2 and 3 is generally when you start to get all those major tech players. But for whatever reason, I'm sure there's a reason for this, but for whatever reason, earnings season really gets going with the financial players. So remember that sub ETF of the S&P 500 is XLF. XLF is the financial subsector, which is actually the second largest subsector of what in the world is going on in the S&P 500. Even though we don't have earnings, we should also probably talk about what in the world is going on with Tesla. Musk says he does not support a merger between Tesla and XAI, but backs investment. So a little bit of a strange story coming out, and I guess I should preface this with the fact that Tesla's actually up very nicely. On Friday, opened up at 306, ended up closing around 313 and some change, currently trading at 317. So first of all, Tesla finally catching a breather after getting beat up because for whatever reason, he just doesn't want to stop fighting with Trump, whether you agree or disagree. Obviously, it's caused a little bit of panic in what is going on with the equity. But anyway, there is a bit of a vote coming up. Musk says Tesla shareholders will vote on XAI investment. So Musk himself doesn't want a merger, but does want the investment.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has suggested in a new post on X that the EV maker's shareholders will be polled on whether to invest in XAI. This is after reporting that SpaceX might make an investment
he wants
in XAI.
the investment, but not a merger.
Tom McKenzie joins us now. Tom, what is this all about?
Yeah, Dania, as you say, Elon Musk getting onto X, the platform, and saying, and responding to a post saying, look, we could put this to shareholders, to a poll for shareholders at Tesla as to whether or not they want to invest in XAI, which of course is the company behind the chatbot Grok. He said that he's made it pretty clear as well in the past he would like that to happen, but he says it's not up to him, it's up to the board, it's up to shareholders, and that they are looking to put that poll to them. So we'll see if indeed that comes through and what it would mean. As you say, on the back of reporting from Wall Street Journal that SpaceX, another, of course, of Elon Musk's companies, could be looking to put $2 billion into XAI. We know that XAI is raising and looking to raise money at a pretty rapid clip as they put out new models and new chatbots with a valuation potentially, according to Bloomberg reporting, of around $200 billion. But it's a reminder of just how interconnected these parts of the businesses overseen by Elon Musk are now gradually becoming.
So I think it's a smart play. This is kind of some new breaking news. I do want to take a portion of my day today to dive a little bit more into what this does or doesn't mean. But to my current understanding, which once again, this is news as of this morning, so I'm by no means an expert on it. But what's already present about it, investing in XAI, and then Tesla shareholders are basically getting an investment in right now, especially with the launch of Grok 4, the most competitive AI model. I don't dislike it, and obviously the market doesn't disagree with that sentiment. Clearly, Tesla going up and up and up on this idea that they might get some secondary benefit from the growth of AI itself. And right now, for those of you who follow the AI and the models and that stuff, more specifically, you know that Grok 4 was just released, and as of right now, it's the best one we have. People will absolutely love it, and it's very competitive, very dynamic. I could say this now, and by the end of this week, that might not be true, depending on what Claude does, what OpenAI does, what Gemini does, what Llama does. Like, obviously, it's very, very dynamic, but as of right now, Grok 4 is really, 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 really good. So if they can keep it going, maybe this actually is a good to medium long-term partnership where Tesla shareholders also are benefiting off of how good XAI is. So like I said, I can make a follow-up video on it. I just need to dive into it a bit more, but my knee-jerk reaction based on everything I currently understand, I am definitely a fan. Very quickly, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It's 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. You don't have to pay anything for it. I just break down what's going on in the market. I give you an idea of what to look forward to in the upcoming week. I give you a little cheat sheet of all the earnings, and also shout out to eWhispers there. I try to highlight the ones that I think you're going to care about the most. I give you all the scheduled macroeconomic events for every day of the upcoming trading week. And then probably most useful is the seasonality of each trading day. Now, I know right now actually, we're getting a nice pop. I was going to say, I know in pre-market trading, we're looking a little bit weak, but from a seasonality standpoint, over the past 27 years, this particular day has been dominated by the bulls. The bulls win this day 70% of the time. And remember, the normal market breakdown on any given day is about 46% between bulls and bears. So obviously the bulls having a unique edge there with a very large profit factor of 4.49. Obviously the bias as bullish as it can get. So is that a guarantee? Obviously no. One headline could send us sky high. One headline, one true social update could send us all the way down to Davy Jones' locker. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, over the past 27 years, this day has been won by the bulls. And just so you know, tomorrow, neutral, maybe leaning bullish. Wednesday, more so bearish, leaning bearish. Thursday, a bit more neutral. And then Friday, back to being bullish. So just a little bit of a preview of how seasonality has played out for this week. But obviously, our main focus here, at least for our degenerate trading right now, is to focus on what in the world is going on Monday, July the 14th. And the bulls have been dominant. I'm actually already getting, upside gap fill. NQ 4-hour chart hitting that the closing bar low. We did get a gap down because of people being concerned about, once again, EU and Mexico, and it's just becoming another taco trade situation to the point that people are just not caring, and clearly they are in the buy the dip mentality. But what is going on right now? This is a nice little pop here that we have going. Before you know it, the Qs actually might be back to break even at market open. Wow. All right. Anyway, sign up for the newsletter, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. We have a couple minutes to go. And as I showed you here, absolutely crushing it on BITX 2x leverage ETF for Bitcoin. I'm doing it all on public. And they also happen to be today's stream sponsor. Let me put up this disclosure. Obviously, you guys know that if you're trading and investing and doing all that stuff, there is a risk of you losing money. But if you do it properly and you learn, obviously, you can really help out your odds. But anyway, on top of just knowing that trading in itself can be very difficult, you have that decision of where should you be doing it. And I'm telling you folks, if you are watching this right now and you have at least not even given public a shot, you're doing yourself a disservice. Check out public. As soon as you get going on it and you start to see those rebates really start to flow in, you're going to love it. This is the only brokerage I know of, and I'm pretty sure this is a fair statement of it's the only brokerage that gives you a rebate. You earn a rebate every single time you trade an options contract. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. It doesn't matter if it's calls or puts. If you're trading something like iron condors, you're going to get even more rebates because you have more contracts and more buying and selling. No other brokerage does this. It is free to download. It is free to sign up. There's no commission fees. There's no per contract fees. If you were an options trader or an aspiring options trader, it would actually be insane for you to just at least not test this out. Obviously, in my own humble opinion, but there's a very good reason why I choose to trade literally hundreds of thousands of dollars with this particular brokerage when I'm trading options, because every single time I do that, I'm earning a rebate. So no matter how good or bad my trade is, it's that much better off. It goes from a good trade to a better trade, or a bad trade to not as bad, because I'm always getting these rebates. On top of that, they have equity trading, no payment for order flow. They have crypto trading, bond trading. Right now, they're doing a retirement account match. Basically, it's a one-stop shop for everything you need. So check it out. Make sure you're using that link pinned to the top of chat. I think it's above me over here. Maybe it's over there. I don't know. You're going to be able to find it. But you're going to start out at a higher rebate tier if you use that link. So don't just download it. Download it specifically with that link, because there's a tier system to how much money you're going to earn. And you'll start out at a higher tier if you use that link. But once again, it is free to download, free to sign up. Highly recommend you guys at least check it out. And that actually reminds me that I want to see where this is going to be opening today. Everyone in the Discord knows it, and I appreciate you guys even here in stream kind of being along on this particular Bitcoin play journey. It's been a tough one. I've been in it since July 2nd, and at first it was pretty rough. But here we are. I'm getting another alert. Upside gap fill already. Yeah, right here. So both NQ and the S&P 500 getting their upside gap fill early this morning. So right as we're about to open up, dude, look at that pop. All right, well, let's see how this goes. It's been a little bit of a slog at first, but then over the past week, this plays really worked for me. Initially, I had 100. I sold half of them on Friday, locking in a profit of about 11. And now I'm excited to see what this one's going to be. Obviously, here are proof of the trades. I got in, cost me about 16, sold half for about 27, net of 11. And then obviously, this is just going to be my runner, whatever it is. And it should be updating. Dude, happy freaking birthday to me. I'm not gonna complain about that at all. A quick little 15. Dude, this is too easy. This stuff is too easy, folks. This is too oh, and it's just climbing right now. That's too easy. We're playing this game on easy mode, folks. We're just playing this game on easy mode. It's legitimately just too easy. I mean, come on. Easy as pie. Well, right out of the gate, the Nasdaq is testing this red to green move. The SPY has a little bit more distance to go, about 50 cents. Tesla looking strong. Dave Portnoy definitely crushing that trade. He put about 10 mil into it. Said he was going to sell it at a 10% gain, getting $1 million, and he did it as of now in like a week and a half. A week and a half. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. All right, I should probably put up BITX. Oh, will it hit? I kind of want to get out of the rest of them today. Dude, that's just such an easy money play. Easy money play. Tesla popping, looking good. All right, here, let me go to 1 minute over here. What else is moving big this morning? Okay, so BITX, double X leverage, so that's up 6%. That's nice. MicroStrategy looking really good. So it seems like the first thing that's really getting my attention is the fact that all these crypto-related plays are crushing it. Tesla's also crushing it. Palantir is also back to crushing it. Meta's in the green. Netflix is in the green. Remember, Netflix has earnings this Wednesday or Thursday. So if you're playing that, consider the fact that you have to also contest with earnings. So Avago break even, Microsoft slightly down, Nvidia slightly down, Apple slightly down, but across the board, we are looking pretty good. Okay, a couple things I want to show you. First of all, these are all the major levels of the day that I'm going to be watching. As everyone in the Discord knows, I always mark out the previous trading sessions, high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white. Those are important technical levels, psychological levels, and they commonly overlap with key open interest levels. So that is the green, the red, and the white. The white box is the transition zone from a 0 DTE perspective. This is the transition zone for market makers on the gamma and delta reading of the 0 DTE contract. And then the final thing is these yellow horizontal lines, which are just the major open interest levels, as in there's a lot of players focusing on those levels, whether for calls or puts. So basically, this is my plan for the day. It's thought to be bullish above the transition zone, thought to be bearish below, and within it, thought to be a little bit more choppy and messed up and really not nice, fluid price action. So what I'm looking for today, as you can see, we're already at 62.50. That's a very important level from not only a psychology standpoint, but there's actually quite a bit of open interest there. So what I would love to see is the market accepts this and we bounce off of it and then make a push back up, basically up to 62.60, which is the closing value from Friday, how we closed out last week. And then I want to see that test, that red to green test. And then from there, I'm going to be looking at the high from Friday's section at 6270. So basically about 5-ish points to go, 6-ish points to go for this red to green test. When I say red to green, I literally mean the market going from being red on the day to actually in the green territory. And then from there, I want to see follow through to break through the top of the transition zone. And then after that, I'd be looking at the 6270, which is the high that we got around 240-ish on Friday's trading session. As always, I'll be able to show you the options flow throughout the day. Let me reload this. It's not going to be that crazy yet just because we're only about 4 minutes into the trading day. But here, I'll show you what we have. It looks like the Mag 7, a little bit of a pop, while the S&P 500 was a little bit of a drop, followed by a little bit of a pop, and it actually might be dropping right now. So the Qs definitely did try to battle it out and go, was green there for a second. What's coin doing? BITX is getting hit. Okay, do I just want to take my BITX? Do I want to take my BITX? Yes, no, maybe so. I kind of want to. Well, vol is still high. I mean, that's 35K. That's a nice 50. Like, that's the easiest 15 grand of my life. The easiest 15 grand of my life. Where are we here? We're cracking 50. What time is it? It's 9:35. I could give it. So I have to make a decision today. Basically, do I want to lock it in and take all the money, or do I want to lock it in and roll it out? I'm not just going to arbitrarily sit on it. no matter what, I need to get rid of the current position. It's more of, do I want to roll it out? And obviously I could take a portion of the profits and handle it that way. Mag 7. It is very, very early though. But this isn't necessarily trending the way I would like it to keep trending. This is Bitcoin. I liked it a little bit better when it was at 123 versus all this profit taking that we're currently seeing. Decisions. Do I just want to take the money and run, or do I want to take the money and roll out? The fade is really, really starting to pick up. So it's just more of take it and keep it, or take it and roll it is like the big decisions. And then if I am rolling it, now you have to start making some calls on when to actually do that. Hang on, let me check a couple other indicators we have. I want to see where the big guys are positioning. I could show you this here. This is one of the many, many reasons you should be checking out what's going on with SPY Gamma. But anyway, Equity Hub. So IBIT's bigger, so we're just going to look at the numbers on IBIT. This is the largest ETF. A lot of people looking at 70. Where is IBIT right now? This is it's at 69. Look at that thing go. 62 to 6. That's crazy. But anyway, there are quite a few long calls. Quite a few long calls at 70. And then short calls at 71. So it seems like there's a lot of just junk between here. 69, 70, and 71 on IBIT, which is, we're at 69 right now, 70, 71. Oh, that makes me wonder, is there not really much meat left on this bone? I mean, we're not seeing sizable bets come in for much, much higher. I mean, 70 is still good movement on Bitcoin itself. Like if we hit 70. Decisions. SPY's waking up. Qs are waking up. Tesla. Wow. Tesla hit 322. And all right. So SPY's a little sideways. Qs are a little sideways. Mag 7 pop, gave some back, and then literally just now at 937. Big pop in the Mag 7. While we're getting told a different story. Be careful here. We're getting told a different story in the S&P 500. The delta flow is actually top left to bottom right. Mag 7 is bottom left to top right. So generally, I find that when those two things are at odds, it doesn't make it the easiest trade setup by any means. By any means. NVIDIA is actually down. Wow. All right. Hang on. NVIDIA actually taking out a recent low. What's going on with NVIDIA? Microsoft, after hitting an all-time high of almost 507, kind of going flat for about 2.5 trading days. Same thing with Avago. Broadcom hitting an all-time high on Thursday, going flat Friday, and as of today, Apple has no idea what it wants to do. It doesn't want to break out. It doesn't want to, dude, Apple's drunk. ASML sideways. Palantir, actually a breakout alert on Palantir, seemingly gearing up to go for another new all-time high above 148. Daily chart, Tesla, fake out breakdown below this consolidation, back into it on top of the EMA cloud. There's actually now a downside gap fill on Tesla to 314.09, so you might want to pay attention to that, but it is back in this overall consolidation triangle. Coin's looking phenomenal. Actually looks like it wants to make a test at that psychological level of 400. MSTR also breakout follow through. The next thing you're watching is 500, and then you might be talking 543. MicroStrategy's just ripping it. Absolutely ripping it. Oh, geez. BITX, that's back to 68. IWM, okay. Had a nice pop, pulling back. This might end up showing strength, the small cap. The Qs have gone nowhere ever since really this whole month. We got this nice pop up from Wednesday to Thursday, and since then, NASDAQ not moving much. Same thing with the SPY. Technically, we did hit all-time highs on Thursday, but I like the pattern, the succession of higher lows. We're just not getting that follow through. And I'm really not the most optimistic that we're going to be getting that follow through today, just because there's not really a catalyst today. Of course, we could get a random announcement from the president or from any other related thing. Of course, it's possible, but it's not like we have like a scheduled FOMC meeting or something like that where we're all like, okay, anticipating higher vol. SPY intraday sideways. Qs are actually 3 clear failures at the red to green move, looking a little weak over the past 4 minutes. And that's also, we're kind of seeing some profit taking a little bit on the Mag 7. The SPY delta still to the down. What do we have for the big players? Big players are doing what? Nothing. Big players haven't really touched the market yet today. All right. And what do we have going on here? All right. Not much. Little bits of buying, little bits of selling, little bits of buying, little bits of selling. We're not seeing, I mean, right at market open, there was more aggressive hitting the bid side. That's why it's red there. But nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. I'm not seeing an overwhelming influence one side or the other, which is really just telling me this is the time to just kind of wait and chill and like not do anything too insane. Oh, I can't believe it's taken this long, but I just want to show you I've been good. I haven't traded yet. I wasn't doing any pre-market trading. I wasn't doing anything I shouldn't be doing. So here's my Tradeify account. Just so you know, the Tradeify deal ends tomorrow. I'll remind you of that tomorrow. Here's my 20 Apex accounts. And then I have 2 funded accounts on Take Profit and then 5 evals. So basically how many? 20, 21, 7. So I have 28 accounts. So 23 are funded accounts. And then the other 5 are eval accounts. And I believe, unless I'm losing my mind, I think this should be taking a trade pretty soon. But I just wanted to show you that I was good and I followed my rules, which is rare for me. So it's a win. You got to take it when you can get it. You got to take it when you can get it. Bitcoin is popping. SPY showing some weakness, putting in a fresh low. The Qs are also putting in a fresh low. Here's a look at the Mag 7 ever since this pop at 937. Definitely selling off since 938. S&P 500 also. ASML, just probably putting a breakdown there. Bitcoin's already popping again. Remember, there's a downside gap fill on Tesla's daily chart to the low 314, so about $1.70 from where we are right now. Wow, that was
Order
fast.
filled.
So literally, it fired so fast that by the time I was saying order, it actually had already filled. But just like that, my apologies, I literally did not flip it over fast enough. But boom, right there, $100 per account on the 28 account, so 2.8K already locked in. And that trade itself, the reasoning behind that trade was VWAP. So right here, this white dash line, see how this was the first bar to close below VWAP? It went short because of that. There was a little bit of slippage, but it got its fill anyway. So a bit of a VWAP play. Interesting. Yeah, but hey, I'll take it. $100 per account, 28 accounts, 28K, almost 3K. Not bad. A little VWAP failure. I don't mind it. Bitcoin doing its thing. Here's back to my BITX. Dude, should I just take this? Maybe I just take it and chill and come back to the drawing board tomorrow. I mean, that's a disgusting gain. But then how will I know the right chance to really roll it? How, when 122,000, does it want to battle that out? I kind of want to see its next test of 122 because ever since the all-time high at 330 this morning, lower highs, lower lows. Like the shorter-term trend has been a bit more bearish. I'm wondering if it's trying to like gather some of its momentum, you know? Where's 122? SPY getting hit. The Qs are at the low from Friday. That's not good. That might be an actual breakdown. The SPY is in no man's land. It hasn't taken out the closing value, but it also hasn't taken out the low value. Yeah, the Mag 7's puking. more specifically, what we have going on is actually on the SPY. It's the double doozy. People are selling calls, but they're also buying puts. On the Mag 7, same thing. People have been selling their calls ever since 9:33 this morning, and then starting at 9:37, they started buying puts. So once again, the double doozy of losing positive delta and adding negative delta, and we're seeing that both on the Mag 7 and the SPY. So out of the gate, not the strongest trend you'd want to be seeing. The 5-minute is actually still technically neutral. I mean, that was obviously a puke, but EMA cloud still bullish. 5-minute still bullish. 30-minute testing, but not necessarily breaking down. So I understand how, like, looking at the 1 minute, this might freak you out, but look at 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes battling it out, 4 hours also still bullish. The NASDAQ, a little bit weaker. The 5-minute did break down, the 10-minute did break down, and the 30-minute did break down, but who knows? Maybe we could reverse right out of this. What's this looking like? Yeah, that was quite the succession of selling right into the point of control, which is the major volume node of the day. So if you're paying attention to NQ, especially for my like prop traders here, it looks like the VWAP is up around 22,885, but the largest volume node of the day is at 22,865. And we sold pretty precipitously right down into that. And now I wonder if it could actually recover. You see how it's just clear selling. And now that we got to this key level, people are starting to react a little bit more. The selling's not as aggressive. Not as aggressive. I'm almost wondering if this is a classic setup of bouncing off of the POC, the point of control, right back up to VWAP at 85. So that might be a nice 20-point trade, 65 to 85. Let's see. What's it doing? There's actually a lot of sell-side liquidity right before VWAP. They're trying to get out a bit earlier. Yeah, aggressive selling right there. And it actually all got filled right at 850. A lot of sitting sell orders. That was the target for the bears, and they got filled. And look at that. Bouncing right back above the POC, the high volume node. And my prediction would be a retest of VWAP. Like I said, literally rewind the stream 2 minutes. I said a recapture of POC at 65, playing it up to 85, probably a nice trade. And it looks like it's about to hit. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. What's Bitcoin doing? All right. Let's see if we actually have some legit support being found here at the low value on Friday on the Qs. Basically from 9:37 to 9:44, nothing but straight selling. Every single minute bar was red. Selling. Not only was it the low value from Friday's trading session, also the point of control from the overnight. And right now we just bounced right back up to VWAP at 85. And it looks like it's retaking out 900. So basically that 15-minute fake out. Yeah. This is why those opening orbos can be really, really tough. Because if you took that opening orbo, you got trapped. Be honest. Be honest. How many of you in chat took that orbo breakdown trade and are right now like just punching your computer? There's like, I think it's dangerous because the orbo trades actually have some interesting odds, but you can't just take them willy-nilly. You have to add on other filters. You have to kind of be a little bit picky of which orbo trade you take. You don't just want to arbitrarily take them, because right here, you would have taken that breakdown on either QQQ or NQ, and right now you would have been demolished. Like you would be punching the air because it just barely wicked it, and then we're popping right back up. It's and I'm hesitant to say it's bad because I mean, I've done the research on it. You can actually make good money, but to make good money off orbo trades, you want to add in other filters. You don't just want to arbitrarily take every single one. It could get really, really dangerous that way. Really, really dangerous. You sold your Q puts and flipped long. Well, I hope you made money, but in my opinion, this is not the environment to be playing puts. We're literally just hit all-time highs last week. Discord pays for itself every day. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we've gotten really good feedback. I feel like the people in the Discord who like dive into the education, but more so use the what's available to you in terms of other community members and using their knowledge sets, yeah, like it's relative to the Discord premium sphere in the world. Ours is actually one of the cheapest, and I would actually argue it delivers some of the best value, just because like I attempt to force myself to back it up what I say with actual stats and facts and figures rather than just like, oh, this looks good. I mean, I could even, and also on top of it, does it pay for itself? Yeah, 37 grand, one trade. Ask anyone in the Discord. When I got into this trade on July 2nd, it was posted there in real time. Everyone saw it. When I got out of half the position, I used to have 100. I posted it in real time. Actually, even earlier, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get out. And we actually talked about it. Like, it's more of, hey, I mean, you guys know this, but trading's hard. So what is the Goonie Discord? It's a bunch of people trying to work together to figure this thing out. I don't know what Tem is. Oh, that's not Temu. Isn't Tem, hang on. Why does that sound familiar? I feel like you guys have brought up Tem before. Oh, it's an AI play. The daily chart doesn't look good though. It doesn't really look like it trends that well. It pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps. Like I'm not sure if I'm necessarily the biggest fan of its overall trend. Obviously on the day it's up 3.6%, but the daily chart I don't think is anything special. How's our friend at PHH doing? Oh, down even more. Went from $41 to now sub $1. PHH, RIP. Just pouring one out. Pour one out for PHH. What's the other one? That people are trying to get BMNR, right? Wow, that's a surprise. Remember when everyone was yelling at me on Thursday, July 3rd, of how I was stupid for not getting in it, and it was just going to keep going, and it was at $100, and now it's at $46. It's almost as if these pump and dumps don't work out. What was the other one that everyone's like, tell me I had to get? Proc. Oh, didn't break down yet, but it looks like it's about to. Let's come back to this bad boy in a week, and we're going to see it back at $1 here. This one's actually on the edge of breaking down as we're talking. And everyone's like, you got to get into it, man. It's the next thing. It's the next best thing. Yeah, it's the next best short. Speaking of that, workhorse. I'm waiting for this one to break down again. I'm not going to play it, but that would be a pretty obvious short play. AMC. As soon as this breaks down, that's another pretty easy gap fill. 306. How's GME doing? Got destroyed once again, just diluted. They're just taking all this money from retail traders. How's Ripple doing?
Order submitted.
Whoa. Order submitted. Looks like I am long. Skynet is attempting to buy the dip. I would have preferred if it waited for a little bit of this pullback here, but this is Skynet's second trade of the day. Skynet's second trade of the day. Let's go, Skynet. Let's go. Let's go, Skynet. Let's go. I heard AMC's going to the moon any day now. It's always going to the moon tomorrow. It's always a day away. Like that little orphan chick, Annie. It's always just one day away. Skynet equals bad timing. Dude, my life equals bad timing.
Order filled.
Bada bing, bada boom. A little bit of slippage. Some of them making as high as 270. Others a little bit lower at 218. Actually, I saw one at 185, 195, 205. So that's just the difference in slippage. It was literally all the same trade. But yeah, apparently we have a range today of 185 all the way up to 270. Bit weird, but 2 for 2 on the day, which means I made about 5K, a little bit over 5K, which honestly, hanging out with all my digital internet friends in my Lucky Buffalo shirt, you know, maybe my mom was wrong and I didn't need my degree. Ripple is ripping, and it's actually not that far from the all-time high. So it took out $3. Obviously, the next technical level is 320, and then you're watching 340, which is the all-time high. Obviously, a rising tide raises all ships. You have Solana up about 4.4%. Definitely not looking as good as Ripple, but it is up. But as you guys know, my favorite is Bitcoin. You guys know my favorite is the OG. Nothing like the real thing. Nothing like the real thing. Oh, should I try to get out at 40? Or do you think I should try to just get out at 50? Do you think I swing it and go for 50? Or do I just go for, or do I just take this where it is right now? So many decisions. There's so many decisions. First 4 trading days on Apex PA account, 1,250. JMac crushing it. JMac crushing it. Just grab puts on proc. There are puts on. I'm surprised that the market makers even built out an options market for proc. Just be careful on the timing, because sometimes the breakdowns take a while. But if you get yourself enough time, it's a high odds play, especially in that's a pharmaceutical play. It is very, very hard in the current regulatory framework for to go from basically nothing to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials, pass it, and then get it out to the market. It is not an easy thing by any means. Palantir is pushing today. Yeah, it's almost at a new all-time high. Hey, Matt, I asked you about XRP the other day. You dragged it. I see your position has changed. Welcome home, XRP gang. No, it's not. Unfortunately, a lot of people forget the room for nuance. I've always campaigned that XRP is a great swing trade. It has big trends. Ride it to the upside, ride it to the downside. But I've said it's not a good investment. And even you, obviously, in what? You said you asked about it the other day. So in a week or two, you already forgot that nuance. I've said it multiple times before. It is a great swing trade because it has a lot of volatility. It is a great active trade, but it's not an investment. I've never heard a single compelling investment thesis for XRP ever. Ever. So if you're an active trader, yeah, dude, have at it. It moves, and it can move a lot, and you can make a lot of money. But that doesn't mean you're people love to conflate. If you're bullish as a trader, they think you want it as an investment, or vice versa. If you're invested in it, that means you could only be bullish on it in the short term. Those are two completely different things. Two massively different things. And people love to, especially in the modern day internet, they love to use either a crypto or a future or equities, like individual day movement. And they're like, yeah, this proves my overall thesis. Just because Ripple goes up today doesn't mean it's a good or a bad long-term investment. If it were to go down today, that doesn't mean it's a good long-term investment. Those things don't correlate. Individual data points, as in how it does in a day or a week, by no means has any correlation whatsoever with long-term success and or failure. Some people think XRP will be the base for U.S. currency. Yeah. Some people think the world is flat. Some people think that the Epstein list has disappeared. Yeah, there's people who think crazy things all the time. That doesn't mean that they're right. Oh, brother. I'm not sure if I have the best vibes right now. Skynet, if this drops much more, we're coming up to VWAP. It might refire that VWAP trade if it drops much more. And I don't necessarily know if I want it to. So as of today, we still have lower highs and lower lows. The question is, where's the next low going to be? Is the next low going to be a new intraday low, or are we actually going to put in a higher low? This is kind of that awkward in-between zone. Some people think Matt is their mom. Well, that's just factually accurate. Matt, how do you feel about Tilray? I think it's undervalued by at least half. Where did you come up with that number? Where in the world were you like, you know what? I bet this is... If something were undervalued by half, Wall Street would have sniffed that out. As an individual retail trader, you did not fall on to something that the rest of all of Wall Street has missed. Tilray is just burning money like no other. And unfortunately, it's being kneecapped by the lack of regulatory updates and approvals in the cannabis sector in the US. So until it gets approved, they're just going to burn cash. So this idea of that they are undervalued by half, I feel like you're just making that up, because unfortunately their future is kind of out of their hands. It's in the hands of politicians. And the question is, do they have enough money to like basically survive until either stuff it most likely will get approved, but are they just going to go bust? Will they go bankrupt before that happens? XRP will be the go-to for any type of transaction. It will be created and destroyed at any time, and that's why it will never be valuable, but used by everyone. What? What? If you actually think that XRP is going to be the go-to for any type of transaction, dude, I'm going to sell you a beachfront property in Arizona, because no. Like, someone needs to explain to me why, in what world is XRP as a currency transaction better than stable coins? It doesn't make sense. Whenever I hear about like, oh, this is why you should invest in XRP, they're explaining what stable coins already do. And then on top of that, we have a lot more going on that makes stable coins better than XRP. Like, for example, it's not a for-profit business that could be diluted at any moment, and super, super questionable leadership. Like, it's just, if you're here investing in XRP, your first job is to explain why is it better than, let's say, even Tether. And I have not heard a compelling argument ever of why XRP. The one thing of why I think the one thing that XRP has that stablecoins don't, is a very boisterous, like highly supportive community base, which is an advantage. Like, I'm not going to knock that. Like, it definitely is a massive, massive advantage. But beyond the massive community support that XRP has, how is XRP in any way better than stablecoins? Matt, is AI controlled by chaos from the mothership? Yeah. How'd you guys know? XRP must have touched Matt in a bad place. No, I just have like basic critical thought abilities that apparently you don't. Dude, they cracked down on locals here? What? AZ is terrible. Do not move here. The joke is that there's not beachfront property in Arizona. The joke's also less funny if I have to explain it. Bitcoin chilling just below 122. I need to make a decision. Yeah, vol crush, the theta decay. I need to make a decision. I kind of want to see if there's going to be like one additional impulse to the upside here on Bitcoin. It really did not like chilling above 122, but it did put in this higher low. And actually, that's what we're looking at on the NASDAQ. So right here, flat, big sell-off, pop. We did not make a fresh high, but the low could technically be a higher low. So as of right now, we have both a lower high and a lower low. When you have a lower high and a lower low, by definition, that is a consolidation, as in we are not trending. If you have lower highs and higher lows, that means you're already within the established range, as in you're not trending whatsoever. So we're just kind of waiting. This might be a beautiful higher low you play off of. You take out these recent highs, you get a retest of the red to green move and a test of the intraday high here on the Qs. We might actually. Ooh, what's the flow look like? Mag 7 flow has stabilized. We're not really trending, has stabilized. Okay, people are starting to buy calls on the SPY, and they're getting out of their puts on also the SPY. Right here. Oh, brother. 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 Okay, if I were to manually trade this, what would my risk be? 25 points. That's $500. I'm up 200. Do I really want to risk $300 per account?
Order submitted.
Oh, what do I want to make my risk? So I could make it this recent swing low, but that's right above a key level where there might be buyers at 900, and then not below, far below that is VWAP. But what if it cracks VWAP and then just pukes even further? Oh, maybe I should play it what's this high? 70. Maybe I should just be aggressive. Or if I'm going to play that, maybe why not even play a different one? Like instead of 02, I could play 10, 24. How much risk do I want to take? Do I want to use VWAP? Do I want to use Super Trend, the recent swing low? Do I want to use this breakout bar? If it breaks that, that's not going to look so good. If it does dip, there is no pattern day trading, so I could always get back in as much as I want. So what would this be? So if I use 2, that means I'm risking 32. So that's just over $600, but I've made about $250. So I'm risking 400 right now at this risk point. So if I were to keep this, my worst case situation would be down 400 per account, which is survivable. Obviously not ideal. Maybe I'll just keep it there and pray that we don't come. Because I, in terms of, all right, let me break down this trade of like what I saw. This might be helpful. I hope it is. If not, my apologies. But anyway, the market opens up. We puke. They try to push it below VWAP. When I say they, the market as a whole, equilibrium, the price, the market did not accept it below VWAP, and we rapidly pop right back out. So puke, 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 pop, pop, pop. And then from there, we consolidated. We started to drift down. We didn't touch VWAP, as in buyers came in more aggressively. They didn't let it touch it. In fact, they didn't even let it touch 22,900. So buyers stepped in a bit more aggressively. This was the first higher low of the day, 959 compared to 946. First higher low of the day, but obviously this high that we saw at 952, that's a lower high. So at this period, lower high, higher low, and there was a trade there. That was like the bot trade. I think that was actually a short. Maybe it was a long. I don't know what it was. But anyway, that was the second bot trade of the day. I went long here at 10:05. First of all, I did wait. One of my goals is to wait for at least the change of the hour, just because there's so much choppiness at open. But then what I'm seeing is right here, I front ran it a little bit, but you could argue here at 10:08, we did push above this previous high. So we now have, starting at 946. From 946 to this point, what we can tell you is true is price action has higher highs and higher lows. By definition, when you have higher highs and higher lows, that means you are in a bullish trend. Higher highs, higher lows, it has to be. All right, so keep that in mind, because that's one piece of our research, is what is the price structure. Higher highs, higher lows starting at 946. I would argue that became a bit bullish. All right, then we're going to look at options. So once again, we're kind of looking at it from 946. We popped, we pulled back, we put in this higher low. And granted, options hasn't really gotten that follow through. So even though the Q's made a fresh high, the S&P 500 hasn't. On the flip side of it, it hasn't made a fresh low either, but we're not seeing that nice follow through on the overall market. The Mag 7 is just flat. So yes, it did get hit. We popped, we gave some back sideways. So the options not really supporting my play, but also not really going against it. I would feel much more comfortable if the Mag 7 was ripping, if the NASDAQ was ripping. We are seeing a nice pop from 958 till now here on the NASDAQ. But even this, like SPY, not doing much. So not necessarily bullish, also not crazy bearish either. We're just seeing like a lack of clear movement in the options market. With respect to momentum, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on the S&P 500 contract is all bullish. These are just the EMA clouds, so it's above all the EMAs. With respect to the NASDAQ, the 5-minute for a second there got pushed below, similar to when it got pushed below VWAP, bounced right back up. So 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish. So momentum is definitely bullish. Price structure went from bearish to bullish in the short term. I'm talking about the 1-minute chart. And then the final thing here is options flow, which is, it's kind of nothing today. It's kind of a lot of just absolutely nothing at the moment. So that's, I guess, the theory of the play. Like, it's not the strongest setup I've ever seen. And the thing that's really making it like not be that perfect A plus setup is the fact that options flow is not there. It's just like we're not seeing aggressive bullish or bearish, but it almost seems like the options flow in the day thus far is like super neutral. So if I had to rank this, I would say this is like a B minus setup. Like, I would say I'm happy to be on the bullish side, but even this, it's like it's trying to push, it can't really follow through, and we're not necessarily seeing it with the options. But I guess there is a fair statement that they could follow through at any moment, but vice versa is that it could also get cracked at any moment. But I like that the Qs are finally taking this out. I want to see the retest of the red to green, and ideally that's enough enthusiasm to bring the SPY back up to their red to green test. So just kind of waiting on that. Looks a little lackluster. I'm risking the swing low. For that to get hit, it would actually have to change trend. We would then have to, the fact that that takes it out, it would mean that it's a new low. So all of a sudden it's a lower low. So I'm basically risking a trend switch on the 1 minute. And I'm seeing Bitcoin really not like 122 here. Do I want to cut my BITX? Well, I know I'm going to cut it today. It's just a question of, do I roll it today? It's the question of, do I roll it? I'm an idiot not to take profits today, but I love every one of my positions. Well, I'd say you're only an idiot if you are just not sticking to your trading plan. Like, whatever your trading plan is, just stick to that exact same thing. Matt, stop betting on markets and start betting on individual stocks. You were supposed to have potential. I do both. What? I do both. There really aren't any popular futures contracts on individual equities. That's not really how it works there, dude. I mean, way back when they're used to. Up 27% on the proc puts. Is proc breaking down? Dude, that was such an evident play. Yeah, all right. Dude, I don't know what your expiration is, Joe, but if you have time, like I'm hoping, I mean, ideally, you actually bought something for August, so you have the ability and the time to ride this all the way back down. I hope you didn't play it too short, but the fact that you're up 27% is sick regardless. How am I feeling about the Soxal play? I actually forgot I was in it, and not good by any means, actually. Yeah, clear trendline rejection. Not good, but who knows? Maybe it's just a higher low and we get popping. I mean, we're going to hear from ASML later this week, so that's going to be an important indication of how strong or weak the semiconductor industry is. But right now, that's a higher highs, higher lows, runs right into a trend line, gets smacked a day and a half of red as of now. So it's had oh shit, what was that on the SPY? SPY just got clocked there. SPY just got clocked. SPY just got clocked. Why did the SPY get clocked at 10:12? Mag 7 still drifting down. Yeah, something just happened in the SPY. Pretty aggressive. Call selling. More so call selling. So someone was locking in some profits, and look at that. The old whipsaw. That's just disgusting how many times this happens. The old whipsaw, you can see it here better. They'll just whip people out. You go from 6 to 45, back up to 50, all in like 2 minutes. Just huge dump, huge pump. Like, and it seems as if someone was just getting out of call position right here. A lot of call selling. So whether they were opening a position or closing, I don't know. You're gonna have to double check the open interest, but that really dropped the delta there, at least for a quick second. The old fake out. The old fake out. Oh, what I would love to do, honestly, see how we kind of have this shelf here at 60, 61, 62, wick. I would love for price to get up there, and then I could just move my stop to break even, and then I have a freebie play. Just stop to break even. If it tags me out, it tags me out. Whatever, boo-hoo, I'll get over it. Right now, I do... Do I want to do this? I mean, my profit target is at the intraday high. I feel like that's a natural level that traders are going to react to. I'm in at 34, 40. That's 45 points. That's like $1,000. I actually don't know if I could go for that much money. Hang on. Let me do some quick math. Okay, so the most money I could go for is 90. I had it at 79 just because it's that intraday high. So maybe I will get out of it a little bit early if this happens at all. The most money I could go for just because of their various consistency rules. How do I want to play this? How do I want to play this? I could also move my stop up now to this wick. Just minimize my risk even more. 34. I can move it to 11. It's a 23-point risk. Oh, decisions. Oh, the spy's catching a bid now. So on the 1 minute on SPY, I hate this pattern. You have higher highs and lower lows, kind of like a microphone. It's an expanding pattern. I find that to be the most difficult price structure to trade. Higher highs, lower lows. It means you're expanding in both directions. So basically, how in the world do you know who's in control? And once again, this is currently only apparent on the 1 minute. If you're looking at the 30-minute chart, you're going to see something completely different. But I just think from a teaching standpoint, when you have these higher highs, these lower lows, we made a fresh low, we just took out highs. It's just that expansion pattern out of the four. You have four potential patterns. Higher highs, higher lows, by definition, that's bullish. Lower highs, lower lows, by definition, that's bearish. Lower highs and higher lows, by definition, that's consolidation. And then when you have higher highs and lower lows, that means you're expanding in both directions, which I find to be the worst to trade. The worst to trade. But let's see. All right, we're coming up here. I would love, I mean, actually, that's a nice gain already on the day. That is not a bad deal. Oh, should I move my stop? Would you guys move your stop to break even right now? Matt, you sound terrible. Dude, I like the driest throw. I don't know like what I did over the weekend, but it's just like just an insanely dry throat. Did anyone else is there something going around like the dry throat fever, or is it like allergies or whatever it is? It's like the fucking Sahara desert in my throat right now. I've been trying to drink water and like get these things to cough, but it's just like incredibly dry. It's like the actual fucking desert. All right, we're coming up to something here. Should I move my stop to break even? I would feel kind of stupid to lose money at this point. But what if it's like a pullback and bounce and go? Or, all right. I would feel dumb to lose money at this point. I really would. All right. Lotto ticket play team. I'm trying to do what a smart trader would do. And hey, if it gets rejected, I'm going to get screwed and it's going to knock me out. But whatever. At least I'm up $200, $250 per account. If it follows through, great. I'll make money. But all I can tell you is I'm not risking anything. All I can tell you is it's a freebie trade. My stop is at break even, and now it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. Bitcoin's looking good, which means I'm making money. 37K over there. Yeah, this is just proof. I just wanted to show you in real time that I did lock in half on Friday, July 11th. So the whole position cost me 15.7. And then I locked in 27 off 50 of the 100 contracts. So no matter what, going to be net ahead by 11. And then obviously I left on the other half as a runner, which is looking mighty sexy. Mighty sexy. All right. We're having a little bit of an issue here. Oh, hang on. Can we get a better idea? Well, first of all, let's check the big guys. The big guys have not really done much today. A little bit of net selling, but in reality, nothing too crazy. And then here's the heat map, the book map, DOM heat map. All right, let's see if we can see how this actually played out. All right, so we have some buyers here at 60, lots of sellers right above. Quite a bit of sellers between 70 and 80. Kind of looks at where they're 77. Can we get a better idea of how these guys are going to handle it? Okay, so 80 and 82, but then we have buyers here at 55. So my break even's at 35. So at least I'm protected by that. But my issue is my max profit is at 90. So it's 10 points above this, quite a bit of passive selling. So that doesn't necessarily bring me joy. I do like this support here at 55 if it can hold. We have a lot of sitting buyers here at 55. I'm a little worried about this. That's a good grip of selling up there. Good grip of selling. Can it take? Oh, they left. They just dropped their orders. That's why we popped. Here we go. Here we go. Wait, what the fuck? How close was I getting filled? No. They did me dirty again. On my birthday, too. They did your boy dirty. Dude, I swear they're watching us. They're fucking watching us, man. They're honed at anything. Anything to ruin my day. How the fuck could they do that to me? On the day of my daughter's wedding. Can you believe that? Can you believe that malarkey? The tomfoolery involved in that? Dude, just my fucking luck. A point away. Not even a point away. And they do this to me. They have my number. They have my number. Can you believe that? Can you fucking believe that? Come on. Bring it back. Dude, because if I get all of this, that means I could be done on the day. That means your boy could be done on the day. 30K in futures, 30K in options, a 60K day to start off the week. Like, dude, doesn't get much easier than that. Doesn't get much easier. Come on. Come on. Let's fast track this. Let's go to the 100 tick. Come on. All right. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Dude, they have my number, dude. They're watching. They knew where your sim take profit is exactly what I'm saying. You get it, unfounded warrior. They're coming after my sim profits. That's how petty these people are. That's exactly how petty these people are. You know, I find it insane myself. There we go. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is the push. I can feel it in my loins. I can feel it in my loins. Okay. Maybe my loins have lost their feelings. Come on. We were almost there. We were almost there. You could do it. You could do it, Tonto. Be the little engine that could. There we go. What do we have going on here? I'm not seeing much in terms of resistance above or below. We're just kind of going sideways. I'm seeing a lot of people at 23,000 flat. I'm seeing some support come in here at 72. 72. No. Hitting the bid. Someone's hitting the bid. All right. Now that we hit the bid, can we finally pop? Let's see those green. Let's see those green circles. Let's see those green circles. There we go. Okay. We filled that order up. Now let's take it up. We filled them at 72. Let's run it to 23,000. And on the way up to 23,000, fill your boy here at 990. Fill your boy. Okay. Look at that. Perfect. And the fact that we see this big, it means that that order was filled. It wasn't like a spoofed order. They didn't pull it or anything. It was filled. Uh-oh. There's a little red. Where's the green? Where's the green? Okay. We're running into a bit of an issue at the SPY's red to green move. a wee bit of an issue. Bullish, 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 bullish. SPX. That's a little too degenerate. We don't need to be on the 10. We're still in this transition zone. No. Bitcoin went back up to 122, smacked by about $600. MSTR. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. So we had this at 72. We tried to pop. Nope. Sellers came in at 80. Trying to now find support at 65. Shit. Do I just want to cut this? That's such a bad beat. That's such an incredible bad beat. It popped to 89 and change, and my fill was at 90. What an incredible bad beat. Will I get lucky? Is it going to spin, or do I just want to take my money and say thank you? Once again, to clarify, this isn't going to cost me anything. My stop's at break even. I'm already up realized on the day. This is more of just how much money am I going to make. And I cannot believe I was that close. That pop, it pulled back so quick, and on the follow through here at 1023 just didn't have enough. Didn't have enough in the tank. Didn't have enough in the tank. Fuck. Damn. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate. Not the craziest things given. I didn't realize that the SPY, like, we got right up to that red-green move, and Mark is like, nah. The Qs might want to be reevaluating its red to green move. Like, it all makes sense, but this is just the issues of when you're that close. Like, that close. What, we hit 555.08. If that hit 555.09, I would have been filled. That's all I needed. Like, it was that incredibly close. Oh, no. It's getting to that point where I have to almost worry a little bit about the drawdown, that delta difference, which is always such a huge pain in the ass. What is this, 43? I am tempted to just move my stop up there, because then that guarantees what, at least $200, and then I'll be at like 450 on the day across 28 accounts, which is a lot of money. It's just how much selling is going on here. Oh, they've just been nailing it. Nailing it. It's coming for me. They're gonna full trip me. Well, this is why you put in protective stops, so at least it doesn't cost you anything. But that is a frustrating trade, to say the least. Yep, stopped out at break even. Whatever. So I kept my profits from my first trade. It just unfortunately so happens that the second one wasn't. It just pulled back a little too much. Pulled back a little bit too much on me. But I don't mind it, honestly. Like, I'll take that. That's a defensive trade. I protected myself. Knowing my luck, it's going to bounce right there and just rip and break out and keep going and going and going. Of course it's going to, now that it knocked me out. But just on the off chance that this actually vomits from here, that's why you have to protect it. So it's fishing. It's fishing. It's fishing. It's fishing. It is fishing. And that's the game of fishing. Sometimes you're going to have these bad beats, but I can almost, the fact that it knocked me out, I can basically guarantee it's going to bottom pretty soon and rip from there, just knowing my luck. Yeah, look at that reversal. That's a pain in the ass. Oh, so SPX actually didn't even touch it. It didn't actually get back into the green. It got really close, like within a point, but didn't actually go green on the day, and it quickly got smacked all the way to 50. What's the Mag 7 picked up pretty strongly till about 1023, then started to vomit. NASDAQ picked up, kind of went flat. 1023 once again getting a bit hit, and then S&P 500 right here. From 1012 to about 1023, 10 minutes of a nice pump. But seemingly everything turned for whatever reason at 1023. Seemingly everything turned there. Oh, the question is do I want to take, if it were to bounce here, this would technically be a higher low. Would I actually want to take another shot at it? Is it a good enough setup to take another shot? For those of you turning in, I've had two system trades today. Those both hit for about 250 each. Then I did a manual trade, and the manual trade ended up getting knocked out for break even. Ended up getting knocked out for break even is pretty much the TLDR of what has happened thus far. 5 minute bullish, 10:34. Okay, that's all bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. All right, that's still all bullish. Momentum is bullish. We didn't technically, this still technically could be a higher low. I'm looking at this low at 1013 on the SPY and the Qs. If this is the low and we bounce off of it, that's by definition still a higher low. Coin got hit. Tesla, I think, got the downside gap fill. Palantir's looking good. Palantir is looking good. The big guys haven't really been doing anything. Slightly net sellers. Quite a bit of selling right here. I would be careful buying at this point. Lots of passes selling at like 45, 46 on NQ. But if it could take that out, maybe it takes it out, pulls back, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it, but that's, yeah. Someone tried to dump it at 50. They're trying to dump it at 55 now. Okay, whoever this was at 46, seemingly moving their sell orders up to 55 now. And they did that, though, on a drop in price. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, someone's really trying to get out at 55. These would be sell limits, as in they're bulls trying to sell at that. Or it's a limit short, I guess technically. We just know that these are limit orders. Limit to sell. Could be most likely to close a position. Technically could be to open a position. But quite red. And then still a ton of people just sitting at 23,000, which means either they're optimistic in some sort of recovery or something's up. 55. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, what was this? 1024. So not only did we see it in options, but you could see it just in hitting the bid, hitting the bid. All of these are just like people are just traversing the spread, hitting the bid. That's aggressive selling, aggressive selling. Like we just had from 23 to 29. We had about 6 to 7 minutes of just like aggressive selling. Now it's kind of calmed down, but there's not follow through on the buying either. Like, yeah, a little bit of buying, but not much. Man, oh man. Palantir's looking great. Bitcoin not necessarily doing what I wanted to do. 30 grand. Fuck it. I'm taking my money. And then I'll figure out if I want to roll out later. Oh, wait. Why did that update like that so rapidly? Did I get a fill? Hang on. Let me see if I got a fill on that. Or was I on old data? Nope, pending. Q. Is it? I don't know if I'm getting my fill or not. Okay, got my fill. Here, let me update the Discord really quick. So I'm out of that BITX, which made me a shitload of money. A lot of money, actually. Let's see how much that one trade made. Let's see, history, BITX, completed, the current month. Okay. So basically the position cost me 15,700. So I made 11,300 on the first half, and then I made another 40. So I made 51,000, and that play was from July 2nd. I got out of half. I scaled out on July 11th, and then I just got out of the other half right now on July 14th. So basically the full trade took 12 calendar days. Not bad. 12 calendar days worth of work to make 50 grand. Not gonna complain about it. Not gonna complain about it. So I'm not against Bitcoin. I don't want anyone to think that me getting out means that I'm somehow thinking that Bitcoin's going to dip from here. No, actually, if anything, I'm just waiting for the opportunity to roll. It's just I'm in the final week. They expired the 18th, so the rate, like theta, is going to get worse. Gamma is going to get worse. It's just by the time you get into that final week of trading, the Greeks really do start to work against you a lot, depending on your position. But on that particular position, especially because not only is it highly levered being an options play, but it's double that because it was a 2x ETF. And then when you start to get into the weird ETFs, the way that they're built, they can act strange. So it was, I don't want you guys thinking that I got out means like, oh, he's calling for a top in Bitcoin. No. I'll happily ride it. It was just more, it was just, we're in the week. So like, I just need to, I don't know, identify a better trade there. Speaking of which, okay, so the SPY just popped. That just popped. Hang on. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Pretty much sideways choppy for right now. Are we recapturing 50? This still might be technically a higher low, and I want to see SPX hold 62.50 because that's keeping the potential alive for going up to Friday session high. I bet we checked that out. We did that. Folks, if you haven't already, don't forget to sign up for Public. This is where I trade options, and the reasoning for that is completely simple. In my humble opinion, it's the best place to trade options. If you're an options trader or an aspiring options trader, this is where you should be doing it, and you could get a disgusting amount of money in rebates, especially if you're an active trader. There's no harm or no foul for you guys to get rocking with it. Use that link pinned to the top of chat because you're going to start off at a higher rebate tier. So if you want to start earning more money from your options trading back more rapidly, make sure to use that link. Okay. All right, so 55 is going to be a bitch. 55 is going to be a bitch. Let me go to the 500 tick. I don't need this anymore. I told you, just enough to tap me out. Just enough to tap me out. Just enough to tap me out. So the point of control is at 30. That's the high volume node. Where's VWAP at right now? Oh, down at 900. So we're considerably above VWAP. Considerably above VWAP. The SPY is battling it out at the low from 2 trading sessions ago. Bitcoin's taking a little bit of it. Honestly, not a bad exit on my part. You know what? We'll leave that. Oh, what do I want to see? MSTR's getting hit, coins getting hit, Tesla's flat, Palantir's looking good, Meta flat, maybe getting a slight hit, Netflix pop giving some of it back, Nvidia attempting to fight back, Avago, Apple. I'm not really seeing like super nice trending stuff right now at all, actually. But I am somewhat tempted to go long on NQ. Somewhat tempted to go long. That's just we have positive gamma right below, positive gamma right above. I don't think we're getting like much of a crazy move today, folks. I don't think we're getting much of a crazy move. Every time it tries to go to 950 there, it kind of is just getting smacked. All right, so you have some people trying to leave the party a little bit early here at 51 and then a chunk at 55, but it's pretty dynamic. It feels like the whole situation. But see how there aren't a lot of aggressive buyers coming in, though? That's the thing that's kind of freaking me out from going. Aggressive selling, 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 buying. There's just no follow through. Little bits of buying. I mean, I guess if we zoom out, it'll put that all together. Is this... Feels like a tough one. All right, SPY, Mag 7. NASDAQ is starting to pop. Mag 7's a bit flat. SPY actually did pick up. It feels like the NASDAQ, I mean, I just showed you in options, like it is trying to do something. There's just not follow through in some of the other sectors, like keeping it a bit behind. Apple, Nvidia, where's Microsoft? Microsoft, where the hell's MSFT? The three big guys really not doing the most right now. All right, we did put in a higher low. It's once again retesting. All right, fuck it.
Order submitted.
250. Okay, this one's going to be easy. 99. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of selling right at whatever that is, 23,000. So if I can hit that, I'll be stoked. All right, put in our risk. We'll see. We'll see if the trend can somehow reproduce. I knew I was going to get stopped out. And then for it to go. Just seems like trading always goes that way, doesn't it? Seems like it always goes that way. All right. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. All right. The 14th. All right, cool. If you're in the Discord, I just put in Piper's, I guess, thoughts on the day. So in that Piper. And then I also updated swingers as well. So my swing trade's updated. Piper's there. And then I haven't done any 0DTE premium. Do I want to? Today is kind of like a nothing fucking burn of a day. What trade do I want to... Do I even want to do it? Is it like that worthwhile of a day? I guess the math would suggest yes. The math would suggest yes. All right, well, my broker's just not working over here. So that's the first impediment. That's the first impediment. Chart options. Vertical. What's a good premium to sell on the day? All right. All right. I did end up selling some premium here. If you're in the Discord, I'm going to put that in. And I think I'm pretty much done. Obviously, I have that live position on futures, but I manage my option swing accounts. I just managed the option 0 DT. We're live in a futures position, but I have my risk and my reward already set. Folks, I think I'm kind of done. Obviously, there's things to monitor, but I kind of think I took care of everything I need to take care of. Who knows? Maybe something will pop up in my mind, but I think I'm looking pretty freaking groovy. As I said in the Discord early this morning in thick thoughts there and the coffee thoughts, I'm not expecting a whole heck of a lot out of the market today. I'm really not. It seems like all the scheduled things that could be a catalyst for the market are starting tomorrow. Vol expires on Wednesday. Options expire on Friday. This is really just like the blowback from the market reacting to the EU Mexico thing. And that's like kind of it at this point. But the desktop here. All right. Zero DZX. Okay, I think that's it. I think kind of an easy Monday, folks. Microsoft catching a nice bid, definitely helping the SPY and the Qs. Nvidia, I wish would look a little bit better. Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple. Well, Microsoft is definitely winning there. Bitcoin taking a bit larger of a pullback than probably people want to see in the short term, obviously. Tesla, Palantir's looking good. Palantir's looking good. Actually, really good. Meta's looking decent. Yeah, there's a couple ones, but obviously Palantir's really standing out to me. Momentum, 5 minute. Here, let me move this. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour on both the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ is all bullish with respect to flow. Actually, in real time, SPY taking a hit right now. Mag 7 as well. What just happened? The NASDAQ was leading us forward, dropped a little bit, but then just popped. What's up? Something just hit. Someone is doing something. Just choppy bullshit. So right now, the SPY is seemingly just continually getting stalled out at the low from 2 trading sessions ago, Thursday, while the Qs are getting stalled out at the closing value from Friday. SPY's intraday high was the SPY's closing value, but with that being said, SPX actually never hit the closing value. So SPY did, SPX didn't. Remember, SPX is the actual S&P 500, while SPY is an ETF created to track the S&P 500. And the slight differential is from the fact that SPX is the theoretically like perfect index, while SPY is actually doing like legit buying and selling. So you have a little bit of a lag effect of like the time to actually do the trades, transaction costs. Like there's a couple other things, but SPX is like the theoretically perfect S&P 500 index, while things like SPY and VOO are ETFs, exchange traded funds, created to track the actual index. But right here, you can see SPX is just like pinned. So not only is this the low from 2 trading sessions ago, but it's this very, very important level of 6,250, key technical level, key psychological level, key open interest level. I could show you that over here. Yeah, there's a hedge wall, net OI, 0 DTE. Yeah, quite a bit of a, You can look at the OI, the net OI. I like to use the GEX the most, but you could see this is the transition between negative to positive on a 0 DTE perspective. And then there's also a big hedge wall right at 50. And then not much above us at 62, 60, 65, 70. That's where we go back to positive gamma. Obviously, anything could happen, but it doesn't feel like today is the day to set up for some like giant swing trade. We're just not really seeing that compelling of data in like the underneath of it all, under the hood. We're just not seeing that much going on. The Qs are trying to hold up well. SPY's taking a bit of a hit. Why is SPY taking a hit? Energy is taking a hit. Energy sector faltering. Financials are fine, going down a little bit, but energy, utilities are taking a hit. Industrials are fine. Healthcare is taking a bit of a hit. Real estate, a little bit of a hit. Consumer discretionary, nothing special. Consumer staples, kind of taking a hit. So energy, definitely taking a hit. Healthcare not looking the best. Staples not looking the best. Discretionary is fine. Tech is also fine. Financials are fine. Yeah, it's just unfortunately there's not much going on right now. not the craziest amount going on, which means for me, I don't mind this trade at all. I wish, obviously, seeing how it played out, I wish I got in a little bit earlier. But overall, I mean, I'm long at 54. I could see all these wicks here at 51. I could just use that as my risk, take on 60 points of risk, and hey, if I make money, I make money, type of a deal. I'm obviously targeting 999, and the reason I'm doing that is because there's a lot of people trying to sell at 3,000. See that red zone right there? That high cluster zone, that's a lot of sitting sell orders. So I don't want to be the person who, like I already was today, missing my exit by less than a point. So I'm front running it by a point. That's pretty much the thought behind it. And hey, if that hits, I'll be stoked. That's good money on the day. That means I'm done with futures trading. I already sold premium. I already managed my swing accounts. Kind of look at that. Look at that. Damn, BTC. Wait, what just happened with BTC? Oh, not too bad. I mean, it's taking a breather. So yeah, the 3-minute looks kind of rough, but the 30-minute, it looks like it's just taking a breather. And honestly, I know this is a bit selfish of me, but I don't mind it because that means when I roll, because I want to take my position and roll it farther out, this is actually better for me. But here we go. We're climbing up 80. Dude, this is going to hit 90, and I could have stayed in that position the whole time. If I was willing to take 12 more points worth of heat, I would have never gotten stopped out. Never gotten stopped out. But if this hits, I believe I should be just over 1,000 on each account, and 5, 6, 7, and I have 28 accounts, which would be a nice 28K game. Let's go Tonto. Let's go Tonto. Let's go Tonto. Seeing as you love to watch the flow, why don't you use footprint charts? Footprint charts are not flow. That's why. Those are two separate things. That would be like saying, like, hey, just because you like watching football, why don't you watch cricket? Flow, like, I assume you mean options flow. That's very different than footprint. I don't know. I don't really have anything against footprint candles, but I never found them that compelling. Dude, my throat is so incredibly dry. Do I just need to like choke on an ice cube to figure it out? I need to do something here. I need to do something. All right, come on. Let's make this money. Oh, there is a little voice in my head saying move your stop to break even. There is a little voice in my head saying move your stop to break even and just don't take on any risk whatsoever. 55. Oh, do I do it? Do I do what I'm supposed to do is the question. Even this, the supportive buy orders are just below that. I would have to, technically, if I put my stop to break even right now, it would be a bit in no man's land. But it is arguably the right thing to do. Because, like, hey, it's a freebie trade. Ah, fuck it. All right, I got to be better. Hey, now that I'm an old man of 31, it's time that I leave my bullshit trading in my 30th year. And now that I'm an old, withered grandpa at 31, it's time I do what I'm supposed to do. It's time. Matt always chickens out. It's a Matco trade. That's a good one. Matt thinks he's Randy Orton. Actually, the other way around. Randy Orton thinks that he's me. But close. But it's within that vein. Dude, this is going to hit 80, isn't it? Or 90, which is where I could have got that first trade exit if I just waited this all out. The right thing to do. Who the hell are you? What did you do with the real Matt? It's a fair question. Dude, check this out. You know what it's going to be? Double top rejection. Just enough. My fill's at 55. All right, here's my prediction. 54.75 is going to be the low. And then it's going to rip and push way above 23,000. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. Double top rejection. It's going to bottom at 54.75, just enough to knock me out. That's going to be the low, and then it's just going to rip and not look back. A little bit of breaking news. Mexico's President Sheinbaum. There's been very important progress with the U.S. on security issues. An agreement has almost been finalized. Well, that should be good. Randy Orton thinks he's the best Tesla trader on this side of the Mississippi. He thinks so, but he's wrong, as you guys can see. Have you seen John Cena? I wish. I've tried. I wish. Come on. Just give me some tendies. So this is I'm currently in my fourth trade on the day. The first two were algo trades, and they actually worked very, very quickly. So that was up just above $200. The third trade was a break-even trade. I was going fishing. I moved my stop to break even. And as you can see, I got in. It went up in my favor. Missed my exit by less than a point. Knocked me out for break even. Re-entered on this trade, which is my fourth trade. And now I'm basically trying to front run where I see a bunch of sell-side liquidity. On the screen right now, right in front of your faces, you can see that there's quite a few market participants trying to sell NQ at 23,000 flat, which is why it is very, very darkly red. And I don't want to take my chances with those players, especially because we're almost at the turn of the hour. So I'm trying to get out a point before. I'm trying to get out right before those guys. That's the plan. And we'll see. We'll see. Come on. Here we go. Let's do it. Some people are trying to sell at 95. Come on, Tonto. Yeah, that's a lot at 23,000. So my thought process is front run them by 1 point. We're the front runners this time. We are the liquidity. Come on, you could do it. Well, that's not what I want to see. When we're chilling at 90, so I have about 9 points to go. 9 points to go. Microsoft's looking good, so hopefully Microsoft's pop brings us to the promised land. Come on. Let's end this show on a positive note. It's right there. Just People, Matt is the Logan Paul of the stock market. People love him and hate him. Probably just more of the Jake Paul of they just exclusively hate me, I would say. No, come on, dude. Not cool. Not cool. It's like, it's just right there. It's just right there. Come on. Come on. Maybe this time, man. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. You could do it, Tonto. Here, I'm going to... Next bar is just going to take out 92.50 this high and just going to pop right away. It's just going to be one big green bar. One big green bar. There we go. Okay. Everyone throw your magnet on your chart. Help a boy out. Help your boy out. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Bada bing,
Order
bada
canceled.
boom. Bada bing.
Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Now my stock rising, got the eyes on me. Wall Street.
Perfect. Well, didn't hide anything from you. I made $1,000 per account. I have 20 Apex accounts, 1 Tradeify account, and then I have what is this? 8 different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yeah, 7 different of these accounts. So 28 accounts, $1,000 each. That is $28,000. Pretty easy peasies. And like I said, now that I'm an old withered man at the age of 31, I'm going to be better about it, and I'm going to attempt to be disciplined and just shut this down. I just want to make sure all the orders are actually pulled. I don't need any rogue orders messing up my day. I don't need any rogue orders messing up my day. Let me just double check this very... All right, let's do this. I want to do the old disconnect and reconnect just to see what we're rocking with here. All right. All right, I think. All right, so those are good. I don't have any. All right, I'm just waiting for this data feed to reconnect to make sure nothing funky's going on. Just to make sure nothing funky is happening. Meta to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in AI. All right. No positions. The orders should be good. We did that. Good. So basically, made 28,000 there. So that's a good 28K. Then I on public, dude, this throat. How could a throat be this dry? Like, it's actually painfully dry. Maybe I need to go gargle like salt water or something. But then you guys also saw the Bitcoin play, the Bitcoin options play, where I made 51,000. So made 51,000 on options, made 28,000 on futures, and then I also sold some 0DT premium that the everyone in the Discord knows about. That's it, folks. That is it. That is it. That is it. I don't really have. I'm expecting not much craziness today. I would love this test. I'd like maybe a little bit of a push. Like, I'm not expecting some giant percentage move. I think today is going to be the most tame day of the week. I hope you guys crush it. I hope you make a bunch of money. Did Meta move on? Meta. Yeah, it is moving on that recent AI. Okay. NQ is breaking out. Yeah, there we go. Okay. NQ is breaking out right now. That's looking good. Yeah, it is what it is, folks. The Bulls are in control, as we kind of predicted. Once again, the Goonie traders, we win. We're the best. Nothing else to say about it. Nothing else to say about it. Folks, that's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. Check out Public. It would mean a lot to me if you guys download it, check it out. Make sure you use that link. I think you're going to like it as much as I do. At noon o'clock today, in 55 minutes, we're having a video coming out on the second channel, And I would very, very much appreciate you guys watching that, because basically it's questions for you guys of really where you want to take the community. So once again, that video coming out in about 55 minutes. It comes out at noon o'clock on the secondary channel. If you're on Rumble, it's on the normal channel you watch it on. But if you're on YouTube, it is going to be on the instead of the Matt Kohrs show, it's on the Matt Kohrs channel. So check that out. We'll be posting an update video later on today, and then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I appreciate all the good vibes. I appreciate all the birthday wishes. It means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you guys make a metric fuckload of money in the market today, and I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.